The Busters, your non-starter, Jaden Utze from Middle Point, Ohio.
Yes! Yes!
Number 7, Matt. Number 69, Logan Geronimo from your right fielder, Brett Sherrill. Your third. Late campus number 16, Brett Richardson. University, number 54, Luke Girono. Number 11, Griffin Now for the home team on your scoreboard. Here come the starters. Number 77, Karen. Dylan Henry. Wren, Ohio, Mike Henry. For the Bird, North number 10, Adrian Pan. From Vanward High School, Kaden Bates. Rescue High School, number 2, Charles Stefanik. Yeah! University, number 16, Bryce Richardson. Number 23, Holden Willingham. Your pitcher from Natural, number 7.
Welcome everyone to Wren. It's the annual late August tradition here on WOSN, the championship game of the 30th anniversary of the Wren Wiffleball Tournament. Good evening everyone. Patrick Kamler along with the dapper and unflappable Dave Bowen this evening, as this has been an interesting one, certainly one for the books. There's been weather, there's been rain, there's been all kinds of stuff, but here we are. We finally made it. It's not 11 o'clock yet at night by the time we're getting this thing going, but it's wiffle ball time once again.
It is, Patrick. Good evening to you, and hello, wiffle ball fans across Northwest Ohio, even the state of Ohio. We've had people from Columbus here today. You're right, we dealt with weather. We had an inch of rain in a span of a half hour this afternoon. Played around with our electronics a little bit. The weather did, the rain, but we're here to play the championship game. Excited to have a capacity crowd who has stuck with us here on a Saturday night. 10:36 right now. Not ready to get started, but we're getting close.
The rain has not kept the crowd away, to be sure. They found shelter, no doubt, and then they came back in force as the Busters taking on the Long Ballers tonight for the Wren Wiffle Ball Championship as the tournament wraps up, and there have been all kinds of festivities, as there tends to be as we get into this one. And one of the interesting things, you know, we're going to talk about the pageantry and and all of the surrounding elements that you see kind of around the makeshift, if you will, stadium that is up and down in less than a week. That talking about the athletics here just a little bit. Of course, one of the things that's looking for an early storyline to develop for the long ballers, Adrian Camp has lived up to that billing so far.
He sure has. We've had 9 home runs in the tournament. We play a 16-field tournament, single elimination. Camp has 3 home runs. 9 total have been hit in the tournament, and obviously he's the leader with 3, and he is in our championship game. He's the leadoff hitter for the Birdville Long Ballers. He would love to knock a couple out here in the championship game and give this crowd something to cheer about.
The Long Ballers in the green shirts tonight, while the Busters with the double B purple on the front and the white shirts. So we are getting ready to get this one started. We will step away, take a quick break. When we come back, we will have wiffle ball action for you right here from Wren. This is the Wiffle Ball Championship on WOSN. Welcome back. Hey, before we get started, tonight's scoreboard is presented by Carey Insurance in Grover Hill, proudly investing in our communities. We are just about ready for wiffle ball action, and it's a little different with the timing of the OHSAA this year. Football starting a week early, because usually wiffle ball is kind of the kickoff, so to speak, of Sports Report season 18 underway, of football, all that kind of stuff. We've already got a weekend, so now wiffle ball is kind of, we're warmed up and ready to go for this.
Yeah, definitely warmed up, Patrick, and just so excited to have WOSN come over to Wren, Ohio, the little town. It does great things for youth and community, the Wren homecoming, but this is really a neat opportunity for us to share what happens in a little town when people come together and work hard to make something happen. Year 30 of Renway Park Wiffle Ball.
We'll be talking about that. Of course, if you watched Sports Report this past week, you saw the story on the wiffle ball tournament, on Wren homecoming writ large. So people coming back, seeing people they haven't seen maybe in a year or maybe a lot longer than that. Just an opportunity to kind of celebrate family is really what this is about.
Exactly, again, and the whole community comes together to make that happen, Patrick. And you got the music playing, the grass is green, it's nighttime in Wren, Ohio. Renway Park, let's do it.
Brett Schum at the plate getting things started for the Busters. Jake Mengerink is at the mound for the Long Ballers as we get ready for wiffle ball action. This is going to be right up to the front, and the first out is quickly done here. So this is a lot faster than your typical baseball game. The outs and the hits and everything are going to come pretty fast and furious.
Yeah, bang bang plays all the time in wiffle ball at Renway Park. John Dorner at the call at first base. Jeff Klaus, a veteran official at third umpire, and then behind the plate, none other than Tim Busher, an outstanding officiating crew that we have year in and year out at Renway.
Here's Clayton Egler, grounds out to the what is essentially the left fielder. So there's 6 position players. I'm sorry, catcher, pitcher, first base, third base, left field, right field.
Yeah, for the Long Ballers, you have Holden Willingham behind the plate, Jake Mengerink on the mound, Adrian Camp at third, Bryce Richardson first, Chuck Stefanik in right, and Caden Bates in left field.
So Caden Hurlis now, batter number 3 here in the top of the first. Mengerink kind of doing a little bit of a fake there, a little bit of a stutter step. It doesn't that time, and that one is going to go fielded by the third baseman, Griffin Painter, and he does it. I'm sorry, that's Caden Bates with no problem. Adrian Camp, third time's the charm. Going to head to the bottom.
No problem.
Just went through the whole list for you, whole roster. If I say a name, eventually it'll be the right guy.
3 up, 3 down for the Busters.
So the Long Ballers will be coming up to bat, and it was really exciting here. We got into the semifinals, rather. The Busters knocked off the Beavers 4-3. That was a big matchup, and then the Long Ballers actually having to come from behind to beat the Mud Bunnies, in the semifinals to get here.
Yes, that come from behind victory. 3 runs in the top of the 7th, and then they held the Mud Bunnies scoreless to come away with that 4-3 victory. All with 2 outs. The first 2 batters were called out, did not reach base, and then the Long Ballers went on a spree and scored 3 runs. And they find themselves here in the championship game.
So Hurlis, and sending in charge into this one is Adrian Camp, as we talked about, but that is caught by Griffin Painter. and that's the first out.
Yeah, Griffin Painter in left field, his partner in right field, Brett Schum. Caden Hurlis on the mound, Luke Gerardo behind the plate, Brant Richardson at first, and Clayton Egler at third.
Here's Bates, the left-hander, chops this one to first base, flipped, and that's out number 2.
Just been an exciting tournament. If you look at the dimensions of the field, it's a 70-degree field. Bases are 50 feet apart. Pitcher to, or mound to home plate is 30 feet.
Stefanik rips that one, but that one is caught, and just like that, 1 inning in the books. No score from Renway. We'll step away and take a timeout. Second inning coming up on WOSN. PA announcer saying this will be broadcast Monday night. Of course, if you're watching at home, you know that because you're watching it right now.
Join it, hopefully with popcorn and some soda pop.
Had a hot dog for the first time here at Wren. It was good.
Great.
It was everything I expected a hot dog to be.
I was going to say, I would expect nothing less.
That fly ball is caught.
Caden Bates with the catch in left field.
Brant Richardson was the batter on that play. That'll bring up Luke Gerardo.
The Ballbusters, the returning champion, defending champion. They won this tournament last year, but they played with their lineup a little bit, sort of like the Yankees. Tried to make themselves better, and they are here in the championship game. One of the players they picked up, Luke Gerardo, grounds out to camp at third.
Hopefully they're going to have more success. So far they had more success than the Yankees currently. So that's working out for them at this particular point in time. Griffin Painter now up at the plate. No score here in the early going. This is the top of the second, and fielded. Mentoring fires out.
Out number 3.
Boom, boom, boom. Just like that, we head to the bottom of the second. And if this is the first time you're watching this, and you turn this on, you're like, what is this? This is a wiffle ball tournament that started 30 years ago this year and has been going strong ever since.
30 years ago, we did not have the tournament in 2020 because of COVID, but yeah, it's 30 years. We do a Hall of Fame selection group. We'll do that at once every 3 years, so that'll be enshrine a new class, the third class next year. And again, just great participation from the fan base here at Renway. They pick a team, whether their team is still in the tournament or not, but they pick a team in the championship game and get loud and proud and enjoy it because it'll be 365 days before we get to do it again.
Bryce Richardson up at the plate. Hurlis at the mound. This one has a charge put into right field, and that's going to be the first hit of the contest this year.
Safely on board.
Richardson safely on, and that will bring up Holden Willingham.
Yeah, both of these teams with a lot of local flavor, but the Birdville long ballers, the Birdville.
Chopper could be too. Now they're going to go right to first base, get the sure out there, and that's going to advance the runner. Richardson moves to second.
Yeah, the Birdville theme, Wren, the Bird, that's homegrown team. Birdville long ballers, they've been in it every year since the inception.
This is a can of corn going to be fielded around second base, 2 away.
We do have a strong breeze blowing right in from south to north, from center field to home plate. Going to be hard to hit one out. So the key is to put the ball on the ground, make the defense earn the out.
Seen a lot of fly balls in this one throughout the tournament, especially in the, like this one here, has some promise and drops. That's going to be a foul ball, but they get past kind of the infield area, and you see them just die. They just drop out of the sky.
And as we mentioned earlier, Adrian Camp, the batter, he has 3 home runs. They've all been Oppage. He's a right-hander. He has gone to right center field with all 3 home runs. Tried to do it there, but you're right, Patrick. The wind just held it up.
This one is a chopper. Going to get to the outfield. Camp is going to be safe to play at the plate. Is going to mark him safe. So the long ballers put the first run on the board. They're up 1-0.
The all-important first run of the game scored by the long ballers. They establish momentum here early on.
So talking about the fast action that you have a wiffle ball, you look at that hit and you think, well, that wasn't very much. Scored a guy from second.
Exactly. In the 70-degree field, second base, it's deep as the bases are all 50 feet apart. Third base, the black hole, oftentimes it's just a pit stop on the way home.
Caden Bates, who was an out in the first inning, and that one is going to be marked foul. So we'll do it again. Not going to mention the pitch counts very much because you usually don't get that far. 3 balls, 3 strikes.
Yeah.
This one is a chomper too. He get fielded at first, and that will wrap up the second inning. Long Ballers put one on the board first. They lead 1-0. We're back after this on WOSN. Tonight's scoreboard is presented by Carey Insurance in Grover Hill, proudly investing in our communities. 1-0 on the Carey Insurance scoreboard. The Long Ballers have drawn first blood, as it were, here in the 30th anniversary of the Wren Wiffleball Championship. This is not the 30th championship, about a year difference there.
Correct.
But this is the 30th year for it.
Yep, got to strike that word annual at this point in time, but happy to do so because of this great crowd. Just happy to be here, getting after it, Patrick. About 4 or 5 deep in a lot of places, 10, 12 deep in others. Great crowd here for championship action.
A lot of wonderful places to stand. Here's a chopper. Mendry with some trouble with it, flips it, and that's going to be the first out. One of the things I've noticed covering wiffleball over the years here is you don't really have a lot of the set, throw, the mechanics that you see in baseball. It's like, I got it, flip it.
Yeah.
And you can get away with that.
That creates the excitement. There's not a dull moment. A point of emphasis this year has been for pitchers to get a little bit of air underneath the bat or underneath the wiffle ball, get a little bit of arc, and we're seeing Jake Mendry do that right now. Hard to do that when you're all pumped up and the adrenaline's flowing.
Pop fly for Egler, and that will be caught for out number 2. Egler 0 for 2 here in the early going.
But that we have points of emphasis in high school sports that the referees and the coaches go over before the season. That's been a point of emphasis this year. The pitchers have done a great job of getting more arch on the ball. It's a hitter's game.
Here's Hurlis, gives this one a ride, and that is going to be foul. So if you time it right to where the wind isn't blowing, you got a chance to get one out of here.
Yeah.
That doesn't work that way there very much.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I can tell you a story from way back in the day when this old guy played. I was pitching, and all of a sudden the wind came straight out of the north and was blowing out the whole time.
Just like Wrigley.
Yeah, I gave up 4 home runs in a half inning. Not that I remember it or anything,
Right.
Patrick.
Not that that hasn't haunted you ever since. Hey, we change innings. Long Ballers up.
After 2.5 innings of play.
So heading into the bottom of the third as we transition here, and you're going to see some things that you don't normally see here at a baseball game or a baseball broadcast. Because WOSN does a lot of baseball broadcasts, softball broadcasts throughout the year. You're going to see a lot more. You're going to see a lot more fireworks in this one. You're going to see a lot more celebration. You're going to see a lot more mascots. Really, saw the Wren mascot running around here earlier.
Yep, the Birdville Bandit, a staple at Wrenway Park. Chuck Stefanik, your batter.
Thank you. Back at it here. Stefanik at the plate and slaps that one foul.
Yeah, you mentioned the fireworks. We've got a tight game right now, 1-0. But if one team would stretch that out, folks watching at home, you don't want to quit watching.
Shot to left field, and that one is caught. Run that one down is Griffin Painter.
Because obviously the game is exciting, but the post-game ceremony is something you don't want to miss.
That is without a doubt. You will watch any number of high school productions. You will not see that. There's a tag applied down the line, and that's out number 2. And of course, alongside the field, you can see the different years represented, not just the sponsors, but the years that the wiffle ball tournament has happened.
Mm-hmm. And then also sponsors that do a great job of supporting the tournament and make all this happen. We appreciate their support.
And umpire stopped the play here for just a moment. Something on the field or interfering?
Okay, we're ready to go.
Hey, it's wiffle ball.
Yeah.
You have your rules, but you can change them as needed.
A nice quick little 6-3, maybe 5-3. Not sure how it works here. Anyway, that's over. We head to the third. It's 1-0. Into the top of the fourth now. The Wren Wiffleball Championship. The Long Ballers with a 1-0 lead. Buster is going to try and cut into that here in the top of the fourth as they start with a strike.
Yeah, this game's moving right along. The Ball Busters need to get some momentum going, see if they can play to run. It does get intense and challenging if you can't get that leadoff runner on and move him around, and the Ball Busters fail to do so right there as Brant Richardson grounds out.
Richardson to Richardson.
And they are brothers on opposing teams. Luke Gerardo, your batter.
And Gerardo puts this one high up in the air around second base, and it is fielded. Chuck Stefanik comes down with that one, and that's 2 away.
Painter, your batter.
So Griffin Painter back up.
Again, with the wind blowing straight in, it's imperative to hit the ball on the ground, but your adrenaline's flowing. You haven't played in front of, I would say there's around 1,500 people here.
Right back to the pitcher, and that'll do it for the top of the 4th inning. Busters can't cut into the lead. We'll see if the long ballers can extend it. And, you know, you start talking about launch angle, things like that. We're trying to keep those down.
Yep, we're going to have Harry Carey in the form of James Lotzenheiser, longtime resident of the area, but he's doing the Take Me Back to the Ball Game in honor of his father, Steve Lotzenheiser, who is unable to be with us.
Let's listen in.
Buy me some peanuts and cracker jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, for it's one root for the whole team. If they don't win, it's a shame, for it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. I love you, Wren. Go Long Ballers.
James Lotzenheiser, the varsity football coach at Crestview, picked up a nice win over Parkway last night, but doing the rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game, Harry Carey style, in honor of his father, who went through a medical procedure and is recovering nicely, but unable to be with us tonight.
And prayers up for him as he begins that recovery. Thank you for singing. I want to ask him if long ballers were down, would he have said, let's get some runs?
He would have said, let's get some runs. Adrian Camp, your batter with 1 out.
Thank you. Camp with the dish with 1 away. That's a ball. One nothing here on the Carey scoreboard. This is a chopper right back to the pitcher. Hurlis fields it, throws it. That's 2 away.
Route number 2. Bates, your batter.
We have changed the equipment a little bit this year, Patrick, playing with harder, more structured bats, and the ball has popped off of those bats more effectively, and the pitcher has come into play defensively tremendously with more looks, and he's got to defend that position, and we've seen it here tonight already.
Pitcher been busy and also successful. We head to the 5th. 1-0 long ballers. We'll be right back. Tonight's scoreboard is presented by Carey Insurance in Grover Hill, proudly investing in our communities. To the 5th inning and starting with a fly out. So 1 pitch, 1 hit, 1 out.
Brett Schoen with the shot up the middle, but unable to get it to the ground.
So now Painter at the dish. Gets this one, gonna be a tough play, and nope, can't hang on to it there at first base. So the ballers have a man on base with 1 out.
Yeah, that's Clayton Egler who reaches safely, and now Caden Hurlis will be the batter.
That's Egler's first hit of the game. Ball 1 to Hurlis. This one slapped right off of Mendrink, and he's going to try to make it at first base and can't. So the ballers have runners at first and second.
Now, runners at first and second.
They have a scoring threat now. First one of the game for the Busters. Let's see what they can do, Patrick. Brant Richardson, your batter.
Richardson batter with 2 on, 1 out.
So we'll see what they can do with 2 on, 1 out. And there's strike 1.
They can crack the score here. Down 1 out.
Richardson, yeah, Richardson, a dead pull hitter, wants to go down the right field line.
We'll see if he does here. This one slapped across the middle, finds a gap and trying to make a play. Meanwhile, Painter's going to score, so we are tied up at 1 here at Runway.
That's the action you see. Nice shot by Richardson, straight up the middle, going right back at the pitcher. Dead area between the pitcher's mound and second. No play for the long ballers. We're all tied up. Luke Gerardo at the plate.
Stefanik trying to make a tough play there at the plate, at the field, and couldn't do it. Mendrick also unable to get the out at first, and we have the bases juiced for the long ball. I'm sorry, for the Busters.
And I'll tell you what, Patrick, I've not heard the crowd as involved as they've been tonight in the championship game since last year. It's a great crowd tonight. It was a great crowd last year. It has been for the last several years. But man, they're loud.
This is Griffin Painter who gets the fly ball. That's going to tag and score. Caden Hurlis. Safe at third is the call also. Now the runners move up to second and third. That was Clayton Agler who scored earlier, and that gives the Busters a 2-1 lead.
Great execution with the sacrifice fly.
Here's another shot fielded by Stefanik, and that's going to be another out. And that saves the run from coming across. So good play there, but the damage is done as the Busters score 2 runs, and they take a 2-1 lead in this one.
And at this time, we are going to have
the Black Swamp Bluegrass head back out.
Bluegrass Band.
Wiffleball fans and honor those serving in the armed forces.
I think we're going to hear America the Beautiful.
I think you're right.
And join the Black Swamp Bluegrass Band as they bring us God Bless America.
There we go. God Bless America.
Nice hand with the Black Swamp
Bluegrass with a nice rendition of America the Beautiful. So we will move into the bottom of the 5th.
All right, hey, before we start up this next inning,
and it's going to be very important for the long ballers to try and counter those 2 runs. You want to answer as quickly as you can in order to get yourself back in position. Momentum right now, riding with the ball busters.
The next one, Holly Henry.
This kind of action that you see is pretty typical as far as speed, as far as kind of what you see on the field to all the other games. I mean, there are all kinds of scores. There's all kind of blowouts and things like that. But this is pretty typical of what you're going to see if you decide to spend a weekend here at Wren one year.
Yes, we've got the 2 best teams in the tournament. It's a blind draw, and they were on opposite sides of the bracket, and they found themselves playing tonight in the championship game. And you can take a look at the bracket and see how they got here.
The Ballbusters beat the Beavers 4-3, and they took care of the Roo Crew 9-1, and then looks like a 16-3 win over Clean 13. So they had a pretty dominant route to get here. We'll tell you how the long ballers got here in just a minute as we're back to action here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And the long ballers foul ball.
Charles Stefanik at the plate. Brings a lot of speed to the table, does Chuck.
See that on the field a little bit. He's going to slap this one down and in and out of the hands of Agler. Painter trying to bail him out, but Stefanik reaches, so the long ballers in business with no one out.
And that's exactly what you want to have here. You just gave up 2 runs. Get that leadoff runner, see if you can push him around. You need singles or productive outs to put him in scoring position.
The wind kicking up a little bit here at the warehouse. There's a high fly ball in the foul territory and caught for the first out.
Bryce Richardson comes up empty. Holden Willingham, the catcher, now batting for the long ballers.
Willingham 0 for 2 so far tonight. And puts a charge into this one, and that's going to go right to the first baseman for out number 2. Long ballers so far unable to move that runner off of first base.
The pitcher now, Jake Mendrink, stepping to the plate.
Mendrink being shelled as the pitcher, as tends to happen sometimes in these wiffle ball matchups. He's going to put it down to Agler. Agler fields it, throws it, and that's 3 away. So
still 2-1.
We head to the 6th, 2-1.
All right.
Tonight's scoreboard is presented by Carey Insurance in Grover Hill, proudly investing in our communities. The Long Ballers with a 2-1 lead. I'm sorry, the Busters with a 2-1 lead on the Carey Insurance scoreboard, and the Busters up to bat, and 1 out has happened.
Yes, as you referenced earlier, Jake Mendrink, the pitcher for the Long Ballers, getting shelled. You didn't mean that in the sense of runs scored on him. You meant that by physically getting
hit by the ball.
By the wiffle ball,
exactly.
yes. And we saw right there where he had to field the position.
People heard me say that. I'm like, it's 2-1. What are you getting shelled? Like, no, actually getting hit by the wiffle ball.
I was with you the whole way, Patrick.
We all get it. People who have seen this before understand it. Everyone else who just turned off the Reds or something like that, like, what are you talking about? Yeah.
Going to be Richardson, your batter.
Busters on base.
Brant Richardson, your batter.
Man at first with the opportunity to add to this 2-1 lead. This one could be 2. Here's 1 and can't get the second play. Really hard to turn double plays because of the size of the field and because of the athletes.
Yeah, where you do see your double plays is on a line shot and the runner on base goes off because he thinks it's going to go down and it doesn't. You get him before he gets back to tagging up. That's the most common double play in wiffle ball action here at Renwood.
Gerardo with a foul and getting introduced as Adrian Camp to the side wall there.
Yeah,
he's like, I'm fine.
Yeah, we took an inch of rain in about a half hour, but the field has held up tremendously well. Thought it might be a little bit more mushy, but no, it's been very firm.
Ground crew did a terrific job, and this one is going to find the outfield, and that's going to be a base hit. And now there are 2 on for the Busters.
Looking to go Geico here, get a little bit of insurance, expand that lead.
Slap this one, Mendrink fields it, throws it, man at first is out, and that will do it. So the 2 out Thunder doesn't get anything. We're going to head to the bottom of the 6th now, still 2-1 in favor of the Busters.
Adrian Camp, Bates, and Stefanik.
You gotta love the, trying to see who that is over for the Long Ballers wearing the Viking hat. That's a nice touch.
Taryn Contreras, one of the bench players.
Okay.
First base coach, actually, Taryn Contreras.
So these teams have more than just the 6 guys that you see on the field. There's other guys that come in case there's injuries, in case there's whatever.
Correct. You have substitutes. You can put them on your roster. But typically, when you get to this level, you're going with what got you here.
Here's a shot and a nice catch in the outfield. Brett Schum
gets a great round of applause for the people behind the right field wall and down the first base line. Great catch by Brett Schum.
It's usually where you'd say they're showing off the supple leather, but there's no gloves here. Just a nice play.
Yep, gloves are optional. In the early years of the tournament, you would see teams use gloves. The game was much slower then than it is now.
Say the speed of the guys fielding it, I can't imagine using gloves. Just that motion of catching it, transferring it for a throw. That guy's going to get on base doing that.
You're exactly right.
This one slapped foul, trying to go down the third base line.
Charles Stefanik, your batter.
Stefanik 1 for 3 and make that 2 for 4 as he gets on base.
And that's another area of the field. You see a lot of base hits. Guys swing hard through the ball, but it just catches the bat a little bit and dies right between home and the pitcher's mound. And when you have the speed that Chuck Stefanik has, you're going to beat that out 9 times out of 10.
And indeed, he does that time. Richardson up now. This one slapped, fielded to first, and that'll do it. So the 6th inning comes and goes with minimal issues, and the Busters maintain their lead at 2-1 as we head to the 7th. Top of the 7th, final inning possibly here at the Wren Wiffleball Championship as the Busters at the plate, and Mendrink fields it at first base for out number 1.
Brett Shim comes up a little gingerly after he steps on first base. But you're right, the Busters would like to add a run or two here. They know what the Long Ballers did in their Final Four game to get to the championship game. Down 2 runs in the 7th inning, and they scored 3. Walked away with the win against the Mud Bunnies.
Camp to Richardson there, and that's 2 away. And indeed, for those of you that were here to watch that, the Long Ballers making the comeback in the last inning. Swing and a miss.
And you don't see that very often, but when you do, the crowd lets you know as a batter that you missed that particular pitch.
And makes up for it. That's a fly ball, and that's going to get hung up there in the airstream. So 1, 2, 3, they go, and we head to the bottom of the 7th now. Last chance.
Bottom of the 7th inning.
Yeah, the Long Ballers try to make something happen.
Yeah, this game has just flown by, but you're right. The Long Ballers, they've been here. They got to put the ball on the ground and dig it out. Beat that out, beat the throw out in order to give themselves an opportunity. Holden Willingham, he's going to start things off. And the drama is intense, Patrick.
Willingham 0 for 3. So far, Bendrink will come up after him, and Adrian Camp. And 0 for 3, 0 for 3, 0 for 3. So they like to get some production from those guys here in the bottom of the 7th.
Need 1 to tie, 2 to win.
And would not be the first time we've had a championship game going to extra innings.
No, the 2019 version, Spencer Ralston with the walk-off home run and extra innings for the Eager Beavers. That's who the Busters defeated in the Final Four to get here.
Indeed. Put one out in the right field fence. This one a chopper right in front of the plate, gonna be close. Got it!
Big call by John Dorner at first base. Half the crowd loves it, half the crowd disagrees.
As the way it should be.
The neat thing about it, again, that's John Dorner, a veteran umpire, sees the call, sells the call, we move on.
Right. This one, chopper, Agler, got it, 2 away.
The Long Ballers down to their final out, and it's none other than Adrian Camp. 3 home runs in the tournament. He could go long and tie it up. The wind has died down just a little, pushing from third base to first base. If he can get it up there, maybe it'll carry it.
And he slaps this one, and that is going to be a base hit. So Camp on with 2 away, and that's going to bring up the go-ahead run. That's going to be Caden Bates. Bates 0 for 4.
Bates, now your batter.
And a base hit can keep things alive here for the Long Ballers.
How about a little excitement here in the bottom of 7th?
Probably going to go with the...
Got too many guys on the
field.
Everybody trying to do some coaching and help. Too many green shirts down there at
Only
first base.
guys with Viking helmets over there on the side. All right.
Taryn Contreras, the first base coach for the Long Ballers.
2 out.
And Bates with a swing and a foul tip. They will be generous. Look, maybe that was a foul tip. And puts this one up. Cannon corn. Got it. And the Busters win.
The Ball Busters back-to-back tournament champions.
You are
emphatically come away with the win tonight and show that they belong in the talk of those teams that have multiple championships. Can you say dynasty?
It's entirely possible. Back-to-back go the Busters. 2-1 the final here in the Wren Wiffleball Championship is the confetti, the fireworks going off as the Busters celebrate their 2nd Wiffleball Championship in a row. See some of the celebrations, the sights and the sounds, and hang with us here because we will bring you more of that. As we step away for a quick break, it is a final. The Busters are your champs, 2-1. We're back after this on WOSN. Welcome back. The Wren Wiffleball Championship has concluded for the year 2022, and the Busters have come away with the 2-1 victory over the Long Ballers. Went down a run in the 2nd, but came up with 2 in the 5th and held on for the victory.
Yeah, the Ball Busters just not one of the most athletic teams you're going to see at Renway Park, but just a team that gels together. And as we mentioned during the broadcast, they played with their lineup. They won it last year. They stayed with their core four of Caden Hurlis, Grant Richardson, Brett Schum, and Clayton Egler, but they brought in Luke Gerardo and Griffin Painter, and it made them better. Here they are again. Congratulations to the Busters.
Fireworks going off all around Renway right now. Back behind home plate, and of course back behind the scoreboard there near center field.
All right.
The commissioner, Jack Davis, down there by the pitcher's mound. Going to go with the traditional celebratory symbolism of the championship. First of all, the championship t-shirts passed out to members of the team. Brett Schum gets his first, then Clayton Egler following along. And a host of others, if you will, Patrick. But championship t-shirts, that's the first significant piece that these players so covet to win the championship. They don't wear these t-shirts. You do not see guys wearing these t-shirts because they want to take that and just, it's like a trophy, a personal trophy.
So Jack Davis, who does a wonderful job and has for a number of years, putting this tournament on year after year. I've had opportunities to talk to him before we go on the air, and Jack does a wonderful job. Like most leaders, like most guys who are trying to put something on and make everything work. He's always kind of, man, I hope this is working out. But year after year, everyone here has a blast, an absolute blast doing this.
Yes. Again, we had some technical difficulties early on in the pregame of the championship, but we worked through that. The other thing that Commissioner Davis does is he shares the fame, shares the wealth, if you will, with everyone who worked so hard to make this happen.
Anytime you mention anything good about this with Jack, he deflects it. Like, all these guys are doing a lot of work. We got a lot of people up here in the booth. Guys who are running the sound, guys who are doing the PA. I almost feel guilty taking you off the PA for the championship because you do such a wonderful job throughout the tournament with this.
Well, thank you, Patrick, but just one piece of the puzzle. We love having WOSN, love having you come over. I enjoy working for WOSN in other capacities, and a lot of the announcers I work with say, hey, how do I get over there and work with you and do Renway Park? I said, you're going to have to fight Patrick for that.
And no one has stepped, so there you go. There you see the trophy from presented to the long bowlers. And they'll get the bubbly opened. And they will celebrate, well, Renway style. That's about the best way to describe it.
It sure is.
Watch the eyes.
A lot of work goes into
there we go.
This moment to make it happen. You guys are the champions for 2022.